Hey y'all, I really hope this works. This is the closest I can figure out to working through things with you. So this is the latest and greatest, talked about it in tonight's Google Meet. We are doing function composition, which you should have seen in Algebra 2. Okay, starts out really basic. You're given a function in Algebra 1, in Algebra 2 even, and you were asked to evaluate that function. So evaluating meant that if I give you some function, let's say this one in the example here, f of x equals 2x minus 7, then I'd ask you to find a specific value. So I would say find f of 0. Okay, and what that means is I am plugging in a 0 where the x was. Whatever is in the parentheses is replacing what was original in the parentheses, the x. Okay, so then you just plug and chug, substitute in this value inside the parentheses for that x, and you solve using the order of operations. So if it's f of 0, that means that this x right here in the original becomes a 0. So 2 times 0 minus 7, well, 2 times 0 is 0, 0 minus 7 is negative 7. So that's the super basic level that you learned back in Algebra 1. Okay, just evaluating. Plug what's inside the parentheses into the function for the x. All right. Now, change. Oh, God bless America. Sorry. It's, what I do? I swear I gotta get better at this. Okay. The function composition, we're gonna have two functions. Sometimes you can even have three functions, okay? And what we're doing is plugging a function inside the outside function. So instead of just f of x, you'll see it written different ways. It could be f parentheses g parentheses x, or you might see it looks kind of like fog, but that circle inside there is a little open circle. It is not the letter O. It is also not multiplication. Kids make that mistake every single year. You guys, it's an open circle in there, and the function that it stands for is composition. Okay, do not multiply the functions. Don't think it's the word fog. This is f composed with g. The way we read that is f of g of x, or even here, f of g of x. Okay, two different ways to write it. Both of these notations mean compose the functions, composition. Okay, when you're composing two functions, again, what you're doing is plugging what's inside the parentheses into what's outside the parentheses. So in this case, I'm not just plugging in an x. I would be plugging in the entire function g of x into the outside function f of x. Okay, inside function goes into the outside function wherever you see an x. Written two different ways. Okay, you can see it on a test like this, or you can see it on a test like this. Both of them mean compose the functions. Plug one function into the other. It is not multiplication. Okay. Next, we have an example for you. So let's say I give you two functions. F of x is equal to negative 5x, and we got g of x is equal to x divided by 3. What I'm asking you to find is f of g of 9. Okay? So which function is going to be plugged in? Which one is on the inside? Well, when you look at it, it's really easy to tell. Instead of just f of x, I have f of g of x, or f of g of 9. Okay? So my inside function, which one is getting plugged into the outside, is g of x. In this specific scenario, it's g of 9. Okay? You've got two different methods that you can use for solving. I'm not going to be picky about which way you do it, especially when we're not even face to face. Okay, you use whichever one makes the most sense to you, or whichever one you think is the easiest. So the first method is just find the inside value first, and then you're going to take that result and plug it to the outside function to get your final answer. So that would mean I'm going to find g of 9, I get a number, And then I plug that number into f of x, okay? And that's my final result. So I'm using both of the functions to get my final result. I'm composing both functions. Or the second method, you can just do both functions at once. So if I want f of g of 9, that means I'm going to plug 9 for the x here. So that'd be 9 over 3. And then I would use that to plug it into the x in f. So it'd be negative 5 times 9 over 3. Okay, I work out both methods. So we're on slide 5 here. Again, just the information we're given on top. Okay, method 1, I'm going to go inside, take that value, plug it into the outside. So g of 9 means I am replacing my x with g of 9, or sorry, with a 9. So instead of x divided by 3, I'm going to do 9 divided by 3. Super simple. 9 divided by 3 is 3. That is only the inside function. Remember, with composition, you've got to be using at least 2. So now I'm going to take that value I got for g of 9 and plug it into f. So f of g of 9 would mean that I'm doing f of 3, because remember right here we said, well, g of 9 is 3. So I take that 3 and plug it into the g of 9, okay? And then I'm finding f of 3. Well, function f says just take whatever number you're plugging in and multiply it by negative 5. So all I'm really doing is negative 5 times 3, which gives me negative 15. So if we do a little bit of color coding maybe to help, the first thing I'm doing, oh, I can't change it while I'm recording. Or can I? I can. So the first thing I'm doing is plugging in a 9 for the x value. Oh, wrong spot. Go back, go back. Sorry, guys. Okay. For my x value, plugging in a 9. So when I put that into g of x, it becomes 9 divided by 3, which of course just gives us 3. Okay, and I take that value and I'm going to plug it into f of x. Well, that means I'm in f of 3. Sorry, I'll get better at this too. Okay, so that just means multiply the negative 5 by 3. That's the value we plugged in. And that gives us our final correct answer, which is negative 15. All right, so main idea here, whenever you're using composition, make sure you use both functions. If there's more than 2 functions, then you just keep on rolling and you do however many functions there are. It always goes from inside to outside, okay? That is the easiest way to remember it. Always go inside to outside. The value you get, plug it into the next function out, and then so on and so on. The final answer is negative 15. The other way you get it was method. For method 2, it just meant that we were going to use both functions at once. So I'm going to do f of g of 9. So I'm g of 9 with plugging in this 9 right here for my x in the function g. Okay. Then I do what function f says to do. Well, function f says multiply by negative 5. So then I've got negative 5 times g of x, which was x divided by 3, or 9 divided by 3. So again, function is telling you you're going to do inside parentheses first. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. Then you can do multiplication, negative 5 times 3, negative 15. Either way, you should get the same answer, whichever method you want to use. Okay, each time, what did I do back there? Each time, we're just following order of operations, honestly. Okay, whichever method you like is the one that you can use. Right, the next slide is honestly for y'all's practice, I believe. Okay, the answers are there for you, but I would really, really like for y'all to try and work them out if you can. Okay, our method again, which you want to use is fine, but take a minute, pause this if you need to, work it out and make sure you get these two correct answers. Okay, and then notice here on the second one, instead of saying f of g of x, I did g of f of x. That's totally a legal move. All I did was change the order. Remember, what you're looking at is from inside to outside. So on this first one, I'm doing g of x first and plugging that value into f. Here, I would just do f of x first and then plug that value into g. This is a skill that you've got to master. We're going to use this on our next topic, which is proving that two functions are inverses. Okay? You just need to practice this both ways, f of g or g of f. That's how we'll prove inverses on starting. Okay? If I don't give you a value for x, then you can still do composition of the functions, but your answer is going to be pre composition function. Okay? So let's say of x is x divided by 2. G of x is 7 minus x. I want you to find the composite function f of x. So what you've got to notice here, I did not give you a value of x to plug in. So you are literally plugging in the function g to f. There will not be a number for your answer because I didn't give you a number to plug in. Your answer has to be a function. Okay? So it will be f of g of x equals whatever expression you find. So first step, plug the inside function into the outside function. Well, my inside function is g of x. G of x is 7 minus x. So I'm taking the entire expression, 7 minus x, and I'm plugging it into f of x for the x. Okay? I know the wording, the lingo is weird, but what you're doing is plug in what's inside to what's outside. So g of x is inside, and g of x is 7 minus x. Then I'm going to plug that into f of x. Well, what would f of 7 minus x be? Okay, let's look at what our f of x says. F of x takes whatever is in the parentheses and divide it by 2. So if I have 7x or 7 minus x, parentheses, and I plug that in, it's just going to be 7 minus x divided by 2. Okay, I need you to pay really close attention down to the last thing. F of g of x would be 7 minus x, that's our g of x, plugged into f of x. 7 minus x divided by 2. Or another acceptable answer could be 7 divided by 2 minus x divided by 2. All what I did there was distribution. Okay, distributing that dividing by 2 to both of these terms. What's bad is this answer. I cannot do f of g of x and say that it's the same as 7 minus x divided by 2. 7 minus x over 2 is not the same as 7 minus x together divided by 2. What's happening on both of these correct is that the 7 is getting divided by 2 and the x is getting divided by 2. Over here in the red one, only the x is getting divided by 2. Okay? These are different expressions. They are not the same. Green ones are good. The red one is bad. Okay? Make sure when you are plugging in expressions, a function inside a function, parentheses must be involved or your answer may end up incorrect. Okay? I sure hope this makes sense, guys. Please hit me up tomorrow before your quiz. I will post it. You will have only tomorrow to complete the quiz, and I'll put a review up. If you've got questions before you start it, please ask me. I am in meetings, but I'll be available as quickly as possible. You only get one attempt, and it is timed. Do not start that quiz until you are ready. Okay? Good night, guys. Hope this works.